All right, hello, welcome to the Long Island Weather Report. It is 9:30 on December 9th, 2024, and it's become a very muggy, disgusting evening out after we had some light to occasionally moderate rain today, but it's really, I took a walk for a couple of miles and just should have left the jacket at home. I had to take it off and I was sweating. I got really warm out there. It's just 50 degrees, very humid out there. Really disgusting out there. We have some fog, and it's not very nice. Just show you. Actually, it looked like there were some breaks in the sky toward sunset, and you can sort of see the moon trying to come out between the clouds there. Just a very dim moon there with those low clouds, and you can see the mist in the air. Yeah, that's an M3. But, yeah, so let's take a look at some of the observations we got going on right now. And, yeah, it's about 48 out there. With a dew point of 46 at Farmingdale. Feels worse than that. 50 at Kennedy. I don't know, maybe my area is worse, I'm thinking. Probably. That's probably what it is. Let's see if we can get a reading from my area. I can show you the alley. I have to have the air conditioner on because the alley is like almost 60 degrees. So yeah, so it's warm out there. Definitely feeling the warmth and the humidity and the dampness. And just the disgusting air quality that we have out there right now. Somehow, there's a reading of 39 in Jackson. And look at that. Miller Air Park's down to 34. I can't believe they're getting radiational cooling over there. I'm sure they've got some fog over there. Well, it says visibility 10 miles with mist being reported. 34 with a dew point. I don't understand how they even got that low. Look at that. 39 in Toms River. It's cooler in Toms River than it is here. Unbelievable. But, yeah, it's... Let's take a look and see how much rainfall we got today. Look at the map here. Not a tremendous amount. Around a quarter of an inch. Most areas. Long Island, 0.22. At Islip, 0.18. Let's see, Jersey. Even less there, 0.02. They didn't get as much rain, so it's probably why it's not as humid over there. Let's look at the high temperatures today. We got into the mid-50s. Low to mid-50s across Long Island. Jersey, probably 54. Over there, lows 30. Got down to 26 this morning in Toms River. So, again, the Pine Barrens pretty chilly. Let's see. The city got down to 45, which is probably like what my alley got down to. Around 30 at Islip. So, you'll notice the orange out here for the eastern end of Long Island, or this orangish brownish color, and that is a high wind watch from Wednesday afternoon through Wednesday evening because of the storm system that we were talking about last night and that we will be talking about again because it continues to look rather threatening. So looking at the satellite here, we'll take to the CONUS view here. And you'll see here plenty of clouds across the whole eastern two-thirds of the country. Looking at the weather map, you'll see we've got a stalled warm front. It looks like the warm front is lifted north, or close to lifting north of our area. And then there's another low and a slow-moving frontal system. That will bring us the heavier rain on Wednesday. But we're going to be in this area here where we're going to be dealing with this disgusting mess where we're going to have some fog, maybe some drizzle, very humid conditions, very dreary conditions, miserable weather. Pretty much. So let's look at the statistics for Islip today. And a high of 53 and a low of 30. So we're 3 degrees above normal for the day at Islip. And we're going to be even warmer than that tomorrow, I'm sure. Let's look at the city's climatological report because they were probably warmer. 7 degrees above normal for them there. So, yeah, just a warm day, and it's going to get even warmer than that, obviously. So let's take a look at the latest briefing on this storm here that we have from the National Weather Service here. There is potential for damaging winds across eastern Long Island and southeast Connecticut. There is potential for strong winds across the remainder of the coast. Heavy rain late Tuesday night into Wednesday region-wide. And before I even show you this, I want to show you the Storm Prediction Center. They've put us in a marginal risk for severe weather Wednesday. So just as I thought, we may have some severe thunderstorms. Actually, I want to actually go to, I don't know if they put a tornado risk. Let's see if we can go categorical. I got to find where the tornado Yeah, there it is. That's a 5% risk of, is that a 5% risk of tornadoes there? No, that's total severe probability, but we want to see tornado risk. So I got to find that. I don't know where that is. Oh, man. I never find these things. But I'm wondering if there's going to be a tornado risk. As we get closer to it, we'll talk about it more tomorrow night as I have more details. But the potential for severe weather is definitely there with this system. Let me go back to this. So, peak winds, sustained winds of 25 to 35 miles an hour with gusts up to 60. Wednesday afternoon through Wednesday evening. This would be eastern Long Island, eastern Connecticut. Could be power outages, 2 to 3 inches of rain expected with locally higher amounts. Gale watch and storm watch is in effect for the offshore waters. You can see the worst of it's going to be over Suffolk County with the wind gusts and the rainfall. Looks like the highest amounts would tend to be over Long Island. Well, this is their estimated rainfall. We're going to look at all the models and all of that in a moment here. Looking at the radar right now, you can see that rain that we had there has moved offshore. And again, it really didn't add up to very much. If we go back to the climate report at iSlip, you'll see that we really didn't get very much at all. Only about 0.19 according to the climate report there. But we'll be getting a whole lot more when Wednesday comes. So let's go look at the models. And you see we've got this warm sector that is over us here, that is coming into the area. So we've got this warm front that is going to be trying to make its way through. Tomorrow is just a dreary day, but then we got this secondary low that forms along the front. Here's the front, and you can see that secondary low developing Wednesday and bringing some very heavy rain, especially as we get toward later in the afternoon into the early evening. But it does once that front moves through, it'll be quick. But you'll notice that V in the isobars and then the cold air comes behind it. So let's go look at the HRRR as we head into tomorrow. And you'll see there really won't be a whole lot going on tomorrow. Again, there could be some spotty drizzle, clouds, fog. It looks like some area showers does start moving through around 7 o'clock tomorrow. There'll be a few showers, and then more showers come in Wednesday night. So here's Wednesday night. I meant not Wednesday night, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. And you see those showers. It's not a solid area of rain. It's going to be showery in nature. But wherever those showers hit, it could be a real soaker. And you can see that it's generally training from north to south. This takes us all the way out till 7 o'clock. And again, you see that V. It's not showing a line developing here, but there could definitely be a line of severe thunderstorms because you see that V in the isobars that we see with severe weather often. Dew points and wind flow. So this is what you feel in that humidity. And dew points rising into the upper 40s. They're going to be rising into the 50s tomorrow with that southerly flow. And then as we get into Wednesday, the dew points are going to rise even more, possibly close to 60. This is some real tropical air that's going to be moving in, and that's what's going to be feeding all these downpours. And then this front moves through right around 7 o'clock or so with the wind shift. You see the wind shift right there with the front. But this is going to be a very strong front. Temperatures, obviously not dropping much tonight. Tomorrow, we're probably going to be in the low 50s. And then the temperatures rise tomorrow night, 50s into the 60s for Wednesday. Most likely 60s. Yeah, I know, very warm and very humid. And then that front comes through, and then that temperatures fall down after that front. Total accumulated precip on this model. Let's go take a look at this. And you'll see the showeriness in nature by all the streaks. So it's showing, this only goes out to 7 o'clock, but it's showing by 7 o'clock Wednesday night that we would have at least maybe an inch and a half of rain. Though it seems like this model has backed off. We have more models to look at, so we're going to look at those in a moment. There's one other parameter I want to look at here, and that's SB Cape and wind crossovers. This is something we use to determine if there's severe weather, and you see a little bit of that shading. It looks like it's mainly over New Jersey, but still, that's something that, yeah, we're going to have to watch for sure. Let's go to the NAM next, and the NAM will also give us this parameter as well. I don't think we have enough of it in. So it does show some out there, but let's go look at the precipitation here. And actually, there are a couple of parameters that we're going to look at here. Let's go look at this first. So again, for tomorrow, not a whole lot going on, just a damp, miserable day. But then we start seeing the rain break out by evening, and then we have the showery weather on Wednesday. And the NAM does show a line here, so it is showing a line of severe thunderstorms here that would wind up developing with the cold front moving through. This moves it through a little earlier, but you can see that sharp V in the isobars there. That is definitely indicative of a line of severe thunderstorms that could wind up developing for your Wednesday that we're going to have to keep an eye on for sure, because the possibility is there. Even SPC put us on a marginal risk now for severe weather. So we're going to have to definitely look at that. Now the NAM, as far as total accumulated precip on the NAM goes, it's showing a little more. So a little more like that 2-inch amount. It's kind of hard to predict exactly where these 2-inch amounts are going to wind up. But some areas definitely will get over 2 inches of rain from these showers and heavy downpours and thunderstorms. There's going to be a lot of rain that's going to fall very quickly because of the tropical nature of this air. To illustrate that, let's go to this, and we'll look at the 700 to 300. Let's do this. No, this one doesn't have it. Actually, I don't have to. I could just look at dew point. Yeah, let's just look at dew point here. So you can see the tropical nature of that air. You see the air is coming right from the tropics, literally right from the Caribbean, being pulled up right up that coast. So then it's going to collide with this much drier air. So when you have a sharp front like that, that's the dangerous thing about getting a strong thunderstorm perhaps in there in the mix. That could definitely be a possibility. You could also look at the FGen as well, which is another parameter we can use. Though this isn't the kind of you could see all the hallmarks of a sharp cold front here. So that you can definitely see that, and that could produce again some severe thunderstorms are a possibility. So that's the other thing that we obviously have to watch with this. Then we got to talk about the wind. So let's go and talk about that. And we will go to the Ventu sky to show you again the wind. You saw those isobars and how tight they are. So when we go over to Wednesday, this kind of shows you the warm air that's coming in, by the way. So we go to wind gusts. Here we are at noon. We're already seeing in the morning, it looks like it's already ramping the winds up, gusting close to 40 to 50 miles an hour. 1 o'clock, we're still seeing those wind gusts. You can see there's the front making its way. It looks like there's a little faster timing on this particular model. This is the HRRR, I think. So you can see the winds. It looks like it's backed off on some of the worst wind gusts. But let's see. We move this along. It has backed off. At least I'm not seeing those crazy 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So the HRRR seems to have backed off on thinking that this is going to be some kind of intense LLJ, which is good news. At least maybe we won't see the crazy kind of damaging winds that we might see. But this is one model run, and that could change. And if I change the model, well, then we have a different result. So this is using the HRRR. So let's change this to the GFS. And the GFS, obviously, much worse with the wind. Here we are at 4 o'clock, and you can see winds gusting 62 miles an hour across a good part of Long Island. The further east you go, the worse it gets. And then it gets even more intense. The GFS is still showing this intense wind field. HRRR seems to be a little weaker with the system than the GFS. So, yes, we have model uncertainty, which always is going to confuse things and make it difficult to forecast exactly what's going to happen. But you can see that river of wind, that low-level jet there that we have. And that's a concern for sure. And we already went over the impacts this could have on the seas as well. But still, it's a lot of wind. We go back to automatic, though, or let's see if the icon has backed off on it. The icon has a little bit. It's backed off a little bit, but not much. This is still high wind warning criteria. Some of it's over Nassau County. So this could cause power outages, depending on where all this strong belt of wind sets up. Obviously, the HRRR definitely being weaker. This model does not have the NAM in it. And the reason why I don't use tidbits, you'll see in a moment why. Go to 850, though. That's the temperature. I want that wind at 850. Just show you that LLJ again. So here's tidbits. We're going to look at the tidbits. So you could show you the LLJ again. And that's still a very intense LLJ. This is the NAM. That white there is really incredibly strong winds. So that's an intense LLJ right there. But I don't think... Let's go to the HRRR and see what the HRRR has. Because the HRRR looks like it has a much weaker LLJ. Yeah, it has a much weaker LLJ. So, yeah, we definitely have a disagreement in the models here. The HRRR saying, no, we're not going to see that strong LLJ. But most of the other models are saying that we are. So, right now, I'm sticking to the idea that we're going to see a strong LLJ. It all depends on where. See, HRRR gets it going later. I don't know if I'm buying the HRRR at this point. Let's see what the 18... Oh, don't have access to the 18Z run anymore. I'm kind of curious if it... Yeah, I don't think any of these other runs are going to go far enough out to take us out that far. So, we'll have to see. But right now, the models indicate that we're going to have this low-level jet event. And obviously, by tomorrow night, we'll see. Here's the GFS, by the way. GFS also seems like it wants to get it going to the east of the area. Here's the GFS. That's the 18Z GFS. Look at the 12Z. 12Z is a little further west. So that's what we got to watch. If I just go to the surface winds, it's kind of... Oh, here we go. This kind of shows you exactly what it would... Look at that red over eastern Long Island. That's really disturbing. If we go to the NAM 12, here's the NAM 12, by the way. You can see that route. That would be a bad situation. So if the NAM had its way... Definitely some pretty strong winds here. Let's go look at the windy.com model. And this is... And again, I prefer using this because it just gives us a better graphic representation of things. So this is the European that we're looking at here right now. So the European... This is just the... not the wind gust. This is the sustained wind. You can see the strongest definitely over the east end. It spares us in Nassau anything too terrible, at least when you look at it this way. But let's take this and put this on wind gusts, because this is where it gets a little more interesting. So Nassau County, wind gusts 40 to 50. You get out into Suffolk County, your wind gusts are over 50. This is the European model, 5 o'clock. Look at what happens over Suffolk. So this that is a very intense low-level jet that would set up over Suffolk County, hence the high wind warning, high wind watch that's been issued. And that's what we're going to have to watch for. And where this all sets up is, if it sets up further west than more of our area, we'll see those stronger winds. It all depends on where that low-level jet sets up. It has to do with the strengthening of the low-pressure center. Let's change this to the NAM. I'm kind of afraid to, but let's go and look at that NAM, because the NAM looks absolutely frightening. So let's go to that. This is the NAM at 3 o'clock. Winds gusting to 60 miles an hour across much of Long Island. Usually the NAM overdoes it a little bit, all right? But this is this is really strong gusty winds, and of course you're going to have the heavy rain with that as well. But then it gets even stronger as we get towards 7 o'clock. We've got this 74 off the South Fork, so 70 miles an hour. You're talking gusts possibly close to hurricane force in parts of Long Island. Generally, the further east you are, the worse it's going to be. That's what we know right now. There's still a lot of variables. There's still a tremendous amount of variables. The issue, of course, waves. We're going to have a lot of high surf, 12-foot waves here. And that's going to cause coastal flooding. Gets even worse as we get towards 7 o'clock. 15-foot waves. You're going to have an inundation on a lot of the beaches on Fire Island. And we're probably going to see Joe Saladino on the news saying, "My precious Tobay Beach got washed away again. We need another $10 million for more sand." 15 feet waves over off the south. The further east you are, the worse it's going to be. That's basically what we're seeing right now. But this is going to be, I would say, prepare for like a tropical storm type of deal, especially if you're in Suffolk County. That's right now what I'm thinking. Thunderstorms. Let's go and look at the thunderstorm parameters and see if does it look like it's Euro's deciding if there's going to be any thunderstorms. But again, that potential is always there because we have this cold front coming through. And honestly, let's go look at the Storm Prediction Center again one more time and see if I can find that tornado risk somewhere. I know that they've got it here. We have convective outlook. But I know they specifically list certain risks in their convective outlook. So if we go to the day 2 again, it's day 3, I think. Yeah, here's the day 3. I would just like to see it, the categorical, probably category. Let's see, we can go to category. But you can see that marginal risk definitely over us. And we'll have to see. There could be a severe thunderstorm watch wind up being issued for our area. Marginal risk, but I'd love to see the tornado outlook on this thing. I'm not sure where they have it, and I don't want to waste time too much on here. But hazards. I'm gonna go to hazards. Maybe it'll tell me. No, that just takes me to back to this again. There's a thing for yeah, I don't see tornado actually being listed here. I don't think, but again, there could be possibility of tornadoes. So we're gonna have to see what happens with this and see. I don't know where that product is. I don't know where it is, so I do apologize for that. But again, we're gonna have to watch out for that risk as we get into, because again, we have this very strong low-level jet, really frightening stuff to see on a model here. There's one more model we could look at, the HDRPS, which only goes out to 18Z, so kind of doesn't really go out far enough. But sometimes this is the other model. It's not really showing things. It's showing showery type precipitation, so it won't be like a constant rain all day Wednesday. It'll be raining most of the time, but there'll be times where it won't be raining. But it's going to be very wind-driven when it comes down. It's going to be like a tropical type of downpour because of where this moisture is coming from. So if we go back to Conus view here, I'm going to get off this model here. We go to the GFS and go to that 700 to 300 humidity, again, that I like to use here. You can see that deep tropical moisture that this thing is bringing up. And look at that sharp boundary that we have there. That's really sharp right there. So this is definitely nothing to play around with. So Wednesday is going to be a very stormy day in our area, and we're going to have more detail on it tomorrow night. But let's first talk. Let's go back to windy.com. Let's talk a little bit about tomorrow's weather. We kind of went over the fact that we're going to have clouds, and it's going to be kind of humid and gloomy. But I want to also talk about let's see if we're going to see how much likelihood of drizzle we're going to see. I'm just going to look at the visibility forecast on this and see if we're going to be dealing with a lot of that drizzle tomorrow. It is showing some drizzle along the south shore, 3 o'clock, and then we have those showers that will develop later on. So we'll be dealing with some scattered drizzle, it looks like, depending on where you are. It looks like it has it mainly over the west, but there could be some drizzle around. It's just going to be a really crummy day tomorrow, humid, murky, a warm kind of day as we get ready for the tropical storm type LLJ that we're going to be dealing with on Wednesday. So that wraps up this Long Island weather report. Good night.